Once upon a time, Marindale, a quiet coastal town, was a place where people lived in peace. But when this story revealed a terrible secret of the town, everything began to change. Marindale has been decked out among the peaceful arms of the ocean. For many years, the townspeople made a living by fishing and lived a happy life thanks to the abundance provided by the ocean. However, everything changed in 1937. Near the town, an area called the Shadow Bay was discovered, a mysterious and dark ocean point. That's when the people of Marindale discovered something they didn't know about. The only road to Shadow Bay belonged to Samuel Brown, one of the old fishermen of the town. Samuel was considered by many to be a sinister person. He refuses to share the secrets of the bay and was just going by himself. However, one day Daniel, a young and brave fisherman, secretly went after Samuel. When Daniel reached that deep and dark region of the ocean, he encountered a terrible sight. The Shadow Bay was covered by a gigantic vortex. The surface of the sea seemed to be covered with a black substance. Daniel, what he saw while walking around this dark being blew his mind. A huge eye in the sea was looking towards him. This eye slowly began to approach Daniel, and the young fisherman tried to retreat in horror. However, no matter how fast he swam, the eye was approaching him step by step. At last, when the eye reached Daniel, his whole body trembled with a scream. The dark matter inside the eye clung to him tightly and swallowed him up. Daniel's scream disappeared into the gulf and was never heard again. The townspeople were horrified when they learned of Daniel's disappearance. Samuel Brown told the townspeople the truth. Shadow Bay was the home of an ancient sea monster. The monster had lived there for centuries and had captured people. Samuel had kept this secret for years because he wanted not to disturb the monster's peace of mind. But now the secret could not be kept any longer. Marindale continued to live under the curse of the Shadow Bay fishermen. Guests coming to the town and even residents were avoiding going to the sea. Anymore, the Bay of Shadows hung over the town like a black shadow, and fear reigned in Marindale instead of the once peaceful life. And this was the story of the Shadow of the Seas. A terrible secret of a town lay under an ocean that changed them forever. The town of Gloomy Cove was a peaceful coastal town, surrounded by the deep blue of the ocean. The inhabitants of the town had lived with the abundance of the sea for many years, and lived in peace with the beauties of the sea. But this story tells about the day when the inhabitants of the town were immersed in the dark secrets of the ocean. With the approach of autumn, the town began to be shaken by strange events. First, fishermen began to hear strange sounds from the depths of the ocean. Some accepted these sounds as normal behavior of ocean creatures, while others thought there was more to it. One night, Ethan, a young fisherman who was standing guard at the town's dock, noticed a strange light in the dark waters of the sea. At first he thought whether it was a distant star or a lamp decked out among the cliffs. However, he decided to take a closer look and quickly drove his boat in that direction. Ethan deciphered the mouth of a cave between the cliffs. The strange light coming from inside the cave attracted his attention. Inside the cave, he encountered a huge starfish-shaped creature. The creature was shining brightly, glowing with its deep blue. Ethan, in fear, tried to turn back, but something was pulling him back. His eyes seemed to be locked on the magical light of the creature. The creature was quietly making the seawater dance around it and at the same time singing a strange song, a song that he remembered from childhood. It sounded like a lost memory. When he returned to town, Ethan's face was pale and his eyes were dull. Every night, he felt compelled to return to the starfish creature. The townspeople noticed his strange behavior and the strange light in his eyes. However, no one could help him, and one by one he was attracted to the starfish creature. The key of the town now wore its ghostly gloom. The strange sounds in the sea could now be heard by everyone, and the townspeople felt that a gloomy end was approaching. Ethan, under the influence of that terrible light in his eyes, disappeared forever to join in the dance of the starfish creature. The town of Gloomy Cove was now quiet and deserted. The sea seemed to still bear the silent cries of its inhabitants. This mysterious creature in the depths of the ocean was home to the disappeared of the town, and the town is forever overshadowed by the silent cry of the sea. The tough townspeople grew up with the legend of a dangerous sea monster that lives beyond the calm waters of the Gulf of Thalassophobia. According to legend, this monster was known as an enormous kraken and was a huge being that lurked in the depths of the dark ocean. For years, the residents of the town took care not to touch the secrets of the Gulf of Thalassophobia, but one day everything changed. Captain Benjamin Shaw, a brave sailor among the inhabitants of the bay, was determined to convince the townspeople that the legend of the kraken was just a story. Deck. He wanted to capture the sea monster and prove its existence. In addition, he got hold of a strange map October, which guided him. The map indicated the deepest point of the Gulf of Thalassophobia. Captain Shaw collected only a few people who dared to make the journey and sail one night. As we were heading towards the deepest point of the bay, a storm was approaching. The sea began to surge, the winds to howl, and the ship plunged into a gloomy fog. For several days they made their way through the fog, and finally arrived at the place indicated by the map. The sea was illuminated with a strange red light, and suddenly the ship saw something that they could not believe their eyes. A huge kraken appeared in front of them, rising above the surface of the sea. The incredible size of the monster took the breath away of the crew. While Captain Shaw was making a plan to capture the monster, he suddenly noticed something strange on the surface of the sea. The guys were looking at them from the sea, and it seemed as if they had to come out of the waves. Those eyes captured Captain Shaw's soul and made him feel the darkness and loneliness of the deep seas. Suddenly, they realized that the monster had wrapped its arms around the ship. The crew was squeezed between the claws of the monster, and the ship deconstructed with a snap. Captain Shaw and his crew retreated to the depths of the sea and never returned. When the townspeople learned about the loss of Captain Shaw and his crew, they decided that they would no longer explore the secrets of Thalassophobia Bay. It is said that the monster's eyes still shine in the depths of the sea, and it feels as if the sea is singing a sad song filled with Captain Shaw's screams. The evil smile of the sea was the story of a secret that lay in the deep waters of the Gulf of Thalassophobia, and this secret forever affected the fear-filled souls of the town. Silently, the waves were beating on the shore. The endless blue of the ocean was disappearing on the horizon. Seaside Town was a quiet paradise where he enjoyed the beauties of the sea. However, this calm did not allow the town to reveal a secret that it had forgotten. One morning, Emma, a young woman strolling along the sunny beach of the town, found an old bottle on the shore of the sea. There was an old parchment wrapped in a bottle, and he curiously opened the parchment. The post was full of strange symbols, but he managed to decipher their meaning. The text read, "The sea belongs to me, and I belong to him." Emma read the text in a confused way. This strange phrase was like the words of Captain Daniel Harlow, the legendary sailor of the town. Daniel was known for his love of the beauties of the sea many years ago and told the secrets of the sea to the town. However, Daniel was swallowed up by the sea one day, and since then neither his voice nor his tracks have been found. Emma decided to go after the strange article. He spent hours deciphering the symbols on the internet and finally solved their mystery. The text indicated the location of the key of the sea, and indicated that this key was located deep in the Gulf of Thalassophobia. With the help of a group of brave townspeople, Emma set sail to find the key to the sea. When they arrived at the bay, the sight they saw shocked them. The water on the surface of the sea shone with a greenish sheen, and a huge eye-shaped slit appeared. Emma and the others dived into these strange crevices and suddenly found themselves inside a huge cave. The cave was filled with all kinds of huge creatures, the oldest inhabitants of the sea. The most remarkable, however, was the statue of a gigantic mermaid. The statue looked as if it was smiling with its stone face, but this smile carried a blood-curdling threat. Emma felt that something was wrong and examined the statue suddenly. The statue's eyes opened, and he heard the voice claiming to be a part of the sea. "The sea belongs to me, and I belong to it," he repeated. The cave in which these words resounded filled with water terrifyingly, and Emma and the others were stranded. As the cave was filled with water, the gigantic mermaid statue moved and approached him. Emma and the others turned to the rocks. In the hands of the mermaid, the waters swallowed them up, and the sea retreated with a terrible smile as the cave closed. The town has never been able to see its lost ones, and the eyes of the sea are forever shadowed by its terrible secret in the depths of the Gulf of Thalassophobia. The town of Larkville was a place lying quietly in the lap of the sea. The townspeople have lived in the tranquility of the ocean for many years, but the terrible secret of Grayson Island, an island near the town's shores, prevented them from facing the sea beyond the town. When you plunge into the deep waters just opposite the island, Only the gentle swells of the ocean would break the silence. The townspeople thought that this island was cursed. According to the story, centuries ago, the natives of the island used magic to calm an angry spirit of the ocean, but magic had never left the ocean the same way. One day, the young and adventurous fisherman of the town, Jonathan, could not resist the mysterious attraction of Grayson Island. Without knowledge about the curse of the island, he focused only on his adventure and decided to go there. As bad weather was approaching, he steered his boat towards the island. When he arrived at the island, a cloudy fog had surrounded it, and the mysterious beauties of the island dazzled his eyes. However, Jonathan was unaware that he was about to face the curse of the island. He walked towards the interior of the island and finally found an ancient temple. The temple was the place where the locals performed their magic rituals. When Jonathan stepped inside the temple, he was suddenly shaken by the noise of the ocean surrounding him. The temple felt the ancient magic of the locals, and the curse of the island began to awaken. The churning of the ocean rose quickly and enveloped Jonathan. Suddenly, the ghosts of the natives of the island appeared. Their faces were filled with anger and pain. While Jonathan was resisting the fury of the sea, the ghosts approached him and dragged him into the depths of the waters. When the townspeople found out that Jonathan was missing, they connected the curse of the island and his disappearance. However, it took courage to go to the island and search for him, because facing the curse of the island meant death. Grayson Island now lay as a curse in the shadow of the town. The breath of the ocean was the story of Jonathan's disappearance and the curse of the island, and the town had to rethink its relationship with the sea.